It's a beautiful day in LA, we're good. A beautiful day in my neighborhood. Would you be mine? Huh? Could you be mine? Hello, my name is Emmitt. What's going on? And hello, my name is Emmitt. All right, this is the first episode of Hello, my name is Emmitt, and this is where I'm bringing you into my world. I was having a conversation on the radio, 102.3 KJLH, 3 to 7, if you in Los Angeles, on KJLH, the Tammy Mack Show. And we were talking about there hasn't been any men in late night since Arsenio Hall. Since the 90s. It's almost as though Arsenio Hall reserved the one spot for black men in late night television. And he actually had his show kind of come back a couple of years ago. I think they kind of tried to do a reemergence for Netflix. It didn't quite work out. But the fact that Arsenio Hall is the only black man in Hollywood slated for a late night television show since the 90s. And it's rumored that he was shut off because Farrakhan came through. I felt like, you know what? I need to bring something to late night. I should be the determining factor of what's for the culture and what's not for the culture. We should be able to bring this here, chop it up with the people, and talk about everything. So that's why I came up with Hello, my name is Emmitt. On this show, we'll be talking music, entertainment, cannabis, politics, sneakers, relationships, television show. You name it, we're going to be talking about it. Anything that affects the culture, anything that I feel is newsworthy, we're going to bring it here, chop it up with the people, open dialogue, all this and that. Hello, my name is Emmitt, King of Late Night. Yeah. I'm getting the sound effects together. I was a little late on the sound effects. This past Easter, we lost a legend. DJ K-Slay died after a 4-month battle with COVID. He was checked into the hospital around December. He was battling and he died on Easter, April 17th, at the age of 55. DJ K-Slay is, one of the DJs that's been in hip hop for 40 years. It was said that he started in hip hop at age 16. Okay. And I feel like to have put 40 years into such a dedicated genre, influenced so many people, he got a chance to see all the elements of hip hop, from graffiti to DJ, breakdancing, MCing, all the different aspects. Growing up in New York, the hotbed of where hip hop was created at and evolved from, DJ K-Slay has been a part of it for 40 years. So his death really hit the industry kind of hard. I've been aware of him for quite some time. I know him as the drama king. I remember being back in high school and DJ K-Slay had the grimiest freestyles. Your up and coming artists, the underground rappers. He did a lot of work with Papoose, 50 Cent. Got some songs with Nipsey. You name it. Anybody coming up, DJ K-Slay had a hand in some of their underground work. So he was very instrumental just to the overall heartbeat of hip hop. So when DJ K-Slay checked out, it kind of hit the industry kind of hard, man. Everybody from DJs to rappers to producers to managers, I feel like everybody came across DJ K-Slay in some capacity. So I just want to send my condolences to the family. There's a lot of talk on Clubhouse as to why he actually passed away. I'm not going to repeat any of those things because I don't want to be disrespectful. A lot of conspiracies and things like that. You can do your Googles and find out what I'm talking about. But we'll just say K-Slay, after a 4-month battle with COVID, passed away, man. So you guys need to be careful. COVID is still out here. It's still affecting families. I know a lot of the mask mandates have been lifted, but we still have to protect ourselves because it ain't over yet. All right. So just be careful. And then lastly, with DJ K-Slay, I didn't know this. As I mentioned earlier, he's a famed graffiti writer. A lot of people in New York knew that he did graffiti all over the city, and he would tag it with a special tag, Dez TFA. He started an Instagram account, and again, the Instagram account is at DEZTFA. It's Dez TFA, and on the Instagram account, it's just a bunch of graffiti all over the city. He has some of his pieces, other pieces, and things like that. I feel like that was really dope to be such a famed DJ in hip hop for so long, and to have a whole graffiti moniker that don't nobody even know about. For him to be able to keep that kind of secret and have a passion project like that, I feel like that was dope, man. So I feel like, again, K-Slay inspires so many people. I want to send my condolences to the family. Hip hop is definitely going to miss DJ K-Slay, man. So, rest in peace. And, I saw Snoop said, tell my mama hi for me. All right, so tell mama Snoop hi, you feel me? All right, now, since we're on the topic of hip hop, it's only right. I'm a product of Los Angeles, California. But to be specific, to be very, very specific, Compton, California, the hotbed of the West Coast, the Bethlehem of the West Coast, if you will. So much talent is birthed. So much greatness comes out of Compton, California. And it's not very big. Not a very big city, but the people that come out of Compton, California, I feel like something's in the soil, something's in the water there. So many great, creative, talented folks come out of Compton, and we always like to put on for the city. I'm always on the radio talking about we got to win for the West Coast. I'm a huge West Coast guy, and I could be biased at times. I could be biased, and I understand that. I'm a Laker, I'm a Dodger. If it's LA, I'm down for it. And to get into it, the legend himself, the OG, the GOAT, K-Dot is on his way back. Okay? Hold on. Let me do it. I gotta do it. Okay? K-Dot is on his way back. It's been 5 years, actually. Let me give you some stats. K-Dot dropped his last album, Damn, in 2017. After that, he followed up with the Black Panther soundtrack in 2018. And then last year, 2021, he helped with his baby cousin's Baby King, Melodic Blue. Executive produced that, came out, caused some damage. He actually won a Grammy for that. Okay, so Kendrick has been away for about 5 years, but he ain't just been sitting on the stumps. Okay, there's been a lot of disrespect. All the cats from the East Coast, all the cats down south, everybody. And let me be clear. I said I could be biased, but I'm a music head. I'm a hip hop head. I'm into the culture. So I know when guys are rapping great. I love J. Cole and Dreamville and what they got going on. I love Griselda and Benny the Butcher and Conway and what they got going on. I love what Bodie James got going on down in Detroit. And it's so much music coming out of Detroit. The different music. You got the 42 Dugs, then you got Bodie James. Two completely different sounds. So it's a lot of great music cracking. But let me be clear. The GOAT is coming back. Okay? May 13th, Kendrick Lamar is scheduled to come back after a 5-year hiatus. Exactly, because I'm shaking the words are escaping me a little bit. But, I feel like I'm always defending K-Dot. We know J. Cole can rap. We know J. Cole is great. And we hate to pit them two against each other because these are two black men, two great rappers that are doing their thing, right? But that's just what happens. If you're good in basketball, we're going to compare you to the greats, right? We compare LeBron to Jordan. We compare LeBron to Kobe. It's just what happens, okay? So with Kendrick being one of the greats and J. Cole also being one of the greats, they're always kind of pitted against each other. We always get these Dreamville versus TDE conversations, which I feel is preposterous because I'm a little biased, right? But let me give you what the man said himself. Somebody tweeted, Kendrick Lamar is officially retired. Right? Not thinking they gonna get no response. Kendrick is somewhere chilled out. He not tripping on you, right? In response, Kendrick Lamar provided a link that said, the following statement was released today by the Oak Llama through his company PG Lane at 11 a.m. Pacific time in Los Angeles, California. All factual information for this release will come directly from this source only. I appreciate your patience. Okay? After that, he dropped another post, May 13th. And I think the name of the album is, that's crazy. The name of the album is something in the Big Steppers. What's the name of the album? Mr. Patient and the Big Steppers, I believe. May 13th, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers will be coming out. You guys need to hold on to your seats. I know some of you guys are shaking in your boots. I've had a lot of conversations, a lot of hip hop conversations. A lot of people saying, "Oh, Kendrick is done. He ain't." May 13th. Have yourself together, man. Be ready for that May 13th. Big K-Dot is on his way back. Okay. Now we got to get to something a little dicey. We got to get to something a little dicey. Okay, it's a little dicey. I got to talk about it. I didn't necessarily want to do it, but I have to give my opinion on it. We all have seen what's happened with the Will Smith and Jada slap. Will Smith, Jada, Chris Rock slap. Let me preface it a little better. We saw they were at the Oscars. Chris Rock had a joke about 2016 when Jada and Will boycotted the Oscars. Said like, you guys boycotted, you wasn't invited anyway. Will Smith made a bad movie. You know, kind of a couple different digs. Fast forward this year, they're all in there. Chris Rock is presenting the award for, I believe, best documentary film, in which Questlove won. And you know, as comedians do, he's at the Oscars award show. You're gonna look around the crowd. You're gonna crack on a couple people. You know, that's kind of what you do. You kind of break the ice. Chris Rock is doing his thing. He gets to Will and Jada, sees Jada has a bald head, and he makes an alopecia joke. Okay. Initially, Will Smith laughs. We see the camera cut to Jada. Jada doesn't think it's funny at all. We assume Will Smith sees this, reacts, goes on stage, and slaps Chris Rock. As he retreats back to his seat, Chris Rock says, you know, oh, Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me. Woo-woo-woo. Nobody knows what's going on. Will Smith sits at his seat, and we know it's real because Will Smith starts to yell explicitives onto the stage at Chris Rock. That's when we know it's not staged. We can also see Lupita in the back. Lupita's in the back like, what's going on? She kind of got this look like, what's the deal, right? We see Lupita over his shoulder. So Lupita and the curse words let me know that this wasn't fake. Since this happened, we got a lot of different accounts from a lot of different people. You know, Chris Rock's brothers spoke out. Chris Rock's mama done spoke out. We got a statement from Jada, which was kind of crazy, saying, hey, I don't need a man to protect me. I wish Will wouldn't have did that. This is a little, you know, I wouldn't expect a wife to come out and support her husband and say that. You know, if I do something like that, maybe my wife would come out and say, hey, you know, Emmitt was tripping that night. He's really not like that. There's a lot of tension going on, or whatever the case is. But don't come out and say, yeah, I don't need him to do that for me. I'm not the type of woman that need that when I'm dealing with something. You know, that seems a little off-putting. But the story that I wanted to hear from was somebody from Will Smith's side who actually had his best interest at heart. Because Jada doesn't seem to have that at heart, right? I'm not going to criticize their marriage. I don't know those folks. Never been, you know, I've never met those folks, right? So we can only make up things from the outside looking in. So I want to know somebody who actually knows Will Smith, who's been around Will Smith. What do they think about this? Since nobody's spoken for him. So I turned to who else but his partner in crime, no pun intended, DJ Jazzy Jeff. Okay, DJ Jazzy Jeff, OG legend. Again, if we're talking about DJs, we talked about DJ K Slay. DJ Jazzy Jeff is also a very instrumental DJ in hip hop. Whether you know it or not, a lot of people think Will Smith is just this acting, fun loving, running behind Jada, whatever the case is. But that's not Will Smith. Will Smith is actually accredited. Him and DJ Jazzy Jeff are the first people to win Grammys in hip hop. Okay, Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff won the first Grammy for hip hop in 1989 with Parents Don't Understand. Okay, that came out. DJ Jazzy Jeff went on to work on Summertime with Will Smith, and then DJ Jazzy Jeff was also featured on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with Will Smith. So we can say they've had a long-standing relationship over 30 years. Let's say they've been strong over 30 years, won hip hop's first Grammy, right? So they've been boys. So I want to know, what do DJ Jazzy Jeff got to say about this slap? He knows Will. What would he say about this? Will and Jada were actually married December the 31st, 1997. So they've been married for about 25 years. Long marriage. They stuck it out. We've seen the entanglements. We've seen all the ins and outs. But about a couple years ago, Will and Jada was the relationship goals. Okay. So what did Jazzy Jeff have to say about his best friend going up on stage and slapping the shit out of Chris Rock? Let's see what he said. Don't get it twisted that this would be something that he's proud of. It was a lapse in judgment, you know? And I think the thing that I've realized is I don't know too many people that have had the least amount of lapse in judgment than him. I can name 50 times that he should have smacked the shit out of somebody and he didn't. So for him to have a lapse in judgment, he's human. And I think a lot of the criticism comes from people who don't think that people like him are human. Okay? So he's basically saying, look, I've known Will for so long, and it's so easy for us to feel like he's not one of us. It's so easy to feel like Will is on his mountaintop. He's this big celebrity. He doesn't react. He doesn't have emotions. Because every time we've seen Will, he's been fun loving and smiling. We saw him slap the guy in Australia who tried to kiss him, the reporter. But even with that, he wasn't like, he didn't get all mad and all that. He kind of just slapped the guy and kind of kept it moving. So Will Smith has been this fun-loving, put on a smile type of guy. And for him to have that lapse in judgment, like Jazzy Jeff was saying, like, he's human. It's no excuse for that. I don't think he's human is an excuse for running on stage and slapping somebody. However, on the flip side of things, you can't talk about somebody's wife and expect that to get no reaction. Even if the wife is, how the public sees a wife. Regardless, you can't tell a man how to react when you disrespect his wife. You might push me, but if I turn around and shoot you in the face, you can't get mad at how I react. You might be like, bro, I just pushed you. You could have pushed me back, But no, you can't put a limit on someone's reaction. You have to, every reaction has a reaction, and you have to respect the reaction, right? You might push me, and you might say, hey, no, you push me, I'm going to shoot you in your face. I guess since we're on it, we should just get into it. I don't really like the drama. I don't like the messiness, but it's my job. I got to get in there. I got to sift through it, like a little sifter, and figure out what the truth is and what's not the truth. Okay. We have to talk about this. It's going up. Megan Thee Stallion and your boy Tory Lanez. Now I'm gonna hit it one more time because. No, one more time. Okay. I'll get it together. Work with me. So Megan Thee Stallion debuts a new diss track at Coachella. Coachella was about a week ago out here in California, out in the desert. A lot of people piled out to Coachella. Saw it as a great time. I thought about going, but Kanye wasn't going to be there. Travis Scott pulled out. That wasn't, I didn't really have any incentive to go to Coachella. I didn't really want to be out in the desert, hella drugs, all these random folks and all that. So I'm like, I'm cool. However, Megan Thee Stallion debuts a brand new diss track entitled To Whom It May Concern. Okay? I wonder who she's talking about. Huh? Who's she talking about? Okay? So this new song samples the classic Jodeci 1995 Freaking You remix. Classic. And she kind of has like a Lil' Kim old school flow on it. How she's coming off. All right? I'm going to give you some of the bars from this song because it's a little spicy. And we know what some of the accusations are from the Meg Thee Stallion, Tory Lanez shooting. I don't really have to rehash all that. At a party, Kylie Jenner, they leave. Something happened in the car. Tory said he dealing with both of the women. Gun go off. Megan got something going on with her foot. We don't know what's up. Bullet fragment, shot in the foot. We don't know what's going on, okay? Hopefully, we'll see in court. Court is scheduled for September the 14th of this year. So we're going to see what's up. But back to these lyrics at Coachella. Megan Thee Stallion raps, "You a fuck nigga. Still can't believe that I used to fuck with you. Popping Plan B's cause I ain't playing to be stuck with you." Now, if you popping Plan B's, we don't pop Plan B's to go to the restaurant. We don't pop Plan B's to play chess or play checkers, huh? We not popping Plan B's if we just dating, going out to eat food. You popping Plan B's because I'm busting nuts in you, okay? Okay? We gotta call a spade a spade. I'm reading the lyrics. Popping Plan B's because I ain't planning to be stuck with you. Bam. I see you still kick it with them op bitches. I'm the only reason your groupie ass got bitches. Okay, kind of spicy. All them hoes want to be like me. Bitch, most likely only fucking with you to spite me. Very barsy, very, very spicy. The linchpin of these bars is popping Plan B's because I didn't want to be stuck with you. We'll get back to that, okay? We'll get back to that. Further along, and we're going to get to why this is so pertinent. Furthermore, she also says, "Dick don't run me" in the song. And, Corey Lane said that, he had He said, good dick had me fucking two best friends and I got caught. That's what I apologize for. It's sick how you spun it though. So Tory Lanez is claiming that, hey, this good penis is what had you and your best friend all up in shambles. That's why you flipped out. That's why everything happened. She also said in the earlier bars she was popping Plan Bs because she didn't want to be with him, be stuck with him. It all came out. Megan Thee Stallion went to go sit down with Miss Gayle King, and explosive interview, if you will. She's crying, and I'm not gonna be the one to say I don't believe her, right? I'm not gonna. Nobody wants to publicly come out and say, you know what, she lying, something ain't right, because you can't necessarily blame the victim, right? But something is fishy. Somebody's for sure is lying, and it's not my. It's none of our business. We're just spectators. We're waiting to see what happens when they go to court, but I feel like everything in the Gayle King interview could have been smooth. But when she said, no, we weren't having any type of sexual relations, that kind of makes everything else in the interview kind of false. It's kind of like, well, you lied about this. What else did you lie about? Right? But we'll figure it out. September the 14th, the trial is supposed to start. I don't wish to see any black woman harmed or shot or going through anything like that. I don't want to see any brother bouncing between partners and they can decide whether or not they want to get with it or not. You know, maybe they all could have had like a little throuple going on or something. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? We'll see what happens in trial September the 14th. And I want to say this. I know Meg has been getting a lot of heat. A lot of people don't believe her story. She's seen as a victim almost since this happened. And she's been on like a 2-year run, if you will. I don't feel like no woman, black women specifically, should be made to feel bad for expressing her feelings and coming out and telling people what happened. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. So I don't want to be the one to say, yo, she's lying. Right? I don't want to be the one to say, yo, them tears are fake and all that. Because I've been seeing a lot of those reactions. She went to the acting school. She learned how to cry. She did all this. I'm not going to say that. It does look a little fishy. Right? But again, it's not my business. I wasn't there. All we can do is see what comes out in court. And hopefully things get better. There was a gunshot. Somebody shot a gun. There was a gun there, and Meg Thee Stallion does. She has a wound. Now, whether there's bullet in there, bullet fragments, or what happened to the bullet fragments and all that, that'll be, that'll come out in court. And of course, whomever shot the gun was wrong. It wasn't a life or death situation. Nobody was getting robbed. It wasn't nothing serious. So there's no reason for a gun to be drawn and discharged at all. We understand how serious a gun is. I'm a gun owner. It's not to be played with. And I feel like in that situation, especially when you're involved in drinking and stuff like that, you don't want to be playing with no gun because it's very easy to put your hand on the trigger. You got a Glock or something, you ain't got no safety, and it could be a problem. So it was wrong all the way around. She shouldn't have been shot. But again, hopefully everything comes out in court and we figure out what's up. And for all y'all that don't want to be stuck with nobody, y'all keep popping in Plan Bs. So we got to talk about this. We got to talk about it. I'm not a huge movie guy. I do watch my YouTube on a daily basis to get tapped in. That's probably what I watch the most, YouTube. But this show came out and it really was captivating. Took me a while to really jump on it and start watching it. But once it got on Netflix, people started watching it. The buzz started happening. People started talking about it. Emmitt, what you talking about? I'm talking about this new show called Ultimatum on Netflix. Okay? Now, Ultimatum is a series that follows 6 couples where one partner presents the other with a marry me or else ultimatum. Okay? Now, the 6 couples, Alexis and Hunter, Lauren and Nathan, Randall and Shanique, April and Jake, Ray and Zay, and Kobe and Madeline. Now, if you watch this show, very, very entertaining, and you can't help but think, damn, would I do something like that with my partner? Would I be down to go into an ultimatum situation with my partner on television? Not sure if you've been in an ultimatum situation before. I'm always the person to say, you know what? If you're willing to give me an ultimatum, I feel like you're trying to push my back against the wall. You're trying to put me into a corner. And as a man, I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I don't know if I'll take to that well. So if you give me a marry me or else, I might tell you you could kick rocks. I might say you could just go ahead and get on, you know? And then I know it's easier said than done, because on the flip side of that, a woman is saying, hey, I'm here. I've been doing everything for you. I've been, the new term is I've been giving you wifely duties. I've been doing wife stuff. You know how y'all say stuff like that. I've been cooking and cleaning and acting like a wife, but I ain't got no ring. So I shouldn't do that. So I get both sides of it. A woman saying, hey, what's up? What you gonna do? And then I also understand a man saying, yo, don't put me in an ultimatum situation. It's kind of uncomfortable. But we're gonna get down to these couples, what I thought about how everything ended out, and just how the show went. Alexis and Hunter, okay, they ended up being together. Alexis was very, very obnoxious, very unattractive, if you will. Like my man Kobe said, no disrespect to her, but just not really my flavor, okay? And she seemed as though she was the type of woman who she wore the pants. She told Hunter what to do. They said after their first date, he was running behind her and he just let her lead, and she liked that. We saw throughout the show, she kind of had bouts of like throwing hissy fits. She had a problem with Kobe, and Kobe was simply telling her, hey, I don't think this is gonna work. I think you're unattractive. It's not gonna work for me. And she just couldn't process that in her head. She couldn't process somebody telling her no, or this isn't right. Because in her mind is like, what do you mean? I'm Alexis. I'm Barbie. You know what I'm saying? It's perfect. What's the deal? So at the end of this situation with Alexis and Hunter, I think she saw that Hunter was going to have a connection with somebody else. It's not that she wanted Hunter. Alexis didn't like Hunter. She said if Alexis had any other connection in the house, she would have went through with the process. Had Kobe liked Alexis back, she would have went through with the process. Had anybody else been feeling Alexis, she would have went through with the process. But since she didn't have a connection, and we saw that Hunter possibly had a connection with somebody else, she was like, nah, we shutting that down. It ain't happening. Hunter, you need to come over here. And that's what happened. I get the feel that Hunter was a, small town, probably ain't been with a lot of people. This is like a supermodel to him. He's smitten. This is his wife. Whatever you want, babe, you can have it. So Hunter and Alexis, I feel like that was some BS. Right? She didn't really want him, but they got together, and they still seem to be together at the reunion. So peace to them. Lauren and Nathan. That was some bullshit. Okay? Nathan didn't want any kids. It was very clear that he didn't want any kids. No, Nathan wanted kids. Very clear that he wanted kids. Lauren didn't want any kids. And when you saw them together, they didn't even seem like they had any chemistry. It seemed like the vibe was completely off. Seemed like she was like the rocker, tattoo sleeve, easy going type of thing. He seemed like a completely different kind of guy. And the fact that she didn't want kids and he wanted kids and was so like, he stood on that so strong. I feel like that, him proposing to her right before they were supposed to meet other couples, it was some bullshit. I don't feel like you can just get over wanting kids like that. And I don't feel like that's a sacrifice that you can really make. If you want kids, you want to see a seed, I don't feel like that's a sacrifice you can make. Just say, I'm with this woman who's able-bodied, who could actually have a kid, possibly, but just doesn't want one. I think that speaks to the type of woman you are. Do you have mothering qualities and things like that? A woman that's saying, hey, I don't even want to be a mother. I don't even want that thought in my mind. That says a lot. And I feel like Nathan is looking for a specific type of woman. He obviously wants to have kids, and he obviously just didn't want Lauren hooking up with Kobe. Everybody seemed to be afraid of Kobe, right? So to stop that, he said, you know what? I just saw what Hunter did. I'm going to go over here and propose because I don't want you hooking up with Kobe. So I feel like that's going to fall apart at some point because it wasn't genuine. And if you really want to have kids, that's something that you want to go through with your partner. You want to, have that experience with your wife and all that. That's not something that you just sacrifice. So, yeah, Lauren and Nathan, that was some bullshit too. Randall and Shanique. Okay? Randall and Shanique have very, very interesting dynamic. Seemed like a very loving couple. I think initially Shanique came off like she was a little, like a little diva-esque, like she was kind of bossy, what I say goes, and which is normal. It's a lot of women kind of had that little diva thing, so it's okay. It seemed like it was a black love situation, you know. And they got into the house, and off the gate, I'm talking about at the starting rate, before we could even shoot the gun, Madeline was like, "I need some of Randall." Madeline seemed like she was all for Randall from the gate. Once she saw Randall, and you know what, Randall kind of gave me like a little Usher vibe. You know, I don't know. Maybe ladies y'all agree. I don't know, but he kind of gave me. He looked like Usher a little bit. Kind of soft spoken, kind of tall guy. Seemed like somebody that the ladies on this show will be interested in. Okay, so Randall and Shanique came through, and I didn't even tell you who gave who the ultimatum. Okay, so really quick, Alexis and Hunter. Alexis gave Hunter the ultimatum. Lauren and Nathan gave Lauren the ultimatum, and with Randall and Shanique, Shanique gave Randall the ultimatum. And her purpose for this was, we've been together, I'm ready for marriage, I'm ready to settle down, I want to have some kids, whoop. And Randall was saying, you know what, I want to be a little more financially stable. I want to get some things ironed out before we decide to get married. He felt like she had some spending habits that she needed to focus on before he wanted to actually make her his wife. There's some things that he was worried about. So he didn't know if he was ready for it yet. They showed a picture of her family, and they're saying, well, you know, my daughter's great. And of course, every mother and father are going to feel like that. My baby's great. You've been with my baby for 2 years. What's taking you so long, right? But I can understand him saying, yo, I'm still ironing some things out. I want to figure this out. So they go through the process. Randall gets really, I'm going to say he even gets really close to Madeline. I think Randall was very respectful of his relationship while he was with Madeline. I know for a fact if Randall would have went in and just was with the cause, if he just would have went in and just pulled his penis out, for lack of a better term, when they hooked up, Madeline would have been all for it. She definitely was all for Randall. It seems like she was willing to leave Kobe in a heartbeat. Right from the gate, she wanted to go through the full experience of this ultimatum, but Randall was very protective of his relationship. He seemed like he just, you know, he kind of kept a guard up. He didn't allow her to get too close. He didn't seem like he didn't do too much on camera with her, right, in terms of the intimacy and all of that. So ultimately, Randall and Shanique, if you saw the reunion, they didn't get back together immediately. They worked through some things. They broke up for like 6 months, had to get some stuff together. But they say they're at a place now where they are together and working towards actually getting married. And she's realized some of the things that she needed to work on, and he's realized some of the things that he needed to work on. So they didn't get through the process and get back together and get married immediately. But I do think the process helped them. It allowed them to see some of their own faults, you know? And I think Randall made a really good point one time. He was in the bed with Madeline, and she was trying to get some penis, you know. She was trying to get some of that black. You know what they want. She was trying to get some of it, you know. Yeah, come on, clap it up for the black. Clap it up for the black penis. Come on. She was trying to get some of it, and he made an honest statement. He was like, "Man, I'm laying here in the bed with you, all canoodled up and all this, and I can't help but think what my lady is doing. 'Cause I know my lady is with somebody else too, in the same situation, in the same bed." And I think when you had it in the back of your mind, it's one thing to be out creeping in the streets and all that. It's one thing to be on some other stuff. But when you in a process and you know for a fact your lady is doing exactly what you're doing, I think it makes you a lot more conscious of how you're moving. And are you just acting to get pleasure, or are you trying to really go through this process and learn something? And I feel like Randall had that awakening while he was laying in bed with Madeline. Like, hey, I could roll over and give you what you want, but damn, it's somebody laying with my woman too. And what I want her to do that. So I think he played it very, very, I think he played it very good. Randall did a good job throughout the process. He got a chance to see Madeline flip out. He got a chance to meet her friends. He got a chance to kind of go through the whole thing. And I feel like he was very level-headed. I felt like Shanique was very childish at times. You know, she like, yo, I want you to sit in the corner. Go sit in the corner and don't interact and don't go through the process. Don't go through the process at all. And he's like, well, you brought me on the show. You gave me the ultimatum. I had to come on the show, and now you're telling me you don't want me to participate, and you won't listen to my reasoning and all that. I feel like she was being very childish with that. It wasn't fair. And if we gonna call a spade, Shanique has sex with Zay. It's a fact. If we gonna call a spade, and we gonna get to the dynamics of Ray and Zay, but for Ray to get her opening interview, and they ask her about her characteristics, and she's like, I'm good, I'm in the gym, and I can fuck. That means that their relationship had a foundation of fucking, right? Which is not bad, but that's why they were on the show, because they didn't have anything deeper than that. They were in school throughout college. We know how that goes. Shout to Howard University. Shout to HU. It's only right. But they met in college. Ray and Zay met in college, went through college. You know how that is, college sweetheart, whatever the case is. When you're in college, you're having a lot of sex. You're doing a lot of partying. You're doing a lot of that stuff. It's like they made a bond in college. They grew through that. They get out of college, and it's like, well, what are we doing? And it's like, we bonded in college because we were partying, we were having sex, we were doing all that. But out of college, we in the real world now. And we can't just lay up and have sex and then go to class and do finals and then get something to eat. It's like real world stuff. And do we actually like each other? Are we really compatible with each other? Do I like you after I get done having sex with you? That's stuff you don't think about in college. But as you start to be an adult, it's like, well, yeah, the sex is cool, but do I like you when I'm done with having sex with you? Do I want you to get out? And I feel like Ray and Zay kind of had that dynamic. But Zay definitely had sex with Shanique. Okay? I don't care what nobody says. And I say that because I speak to the dynamic of the relationship that he's used to. Not to say that he can't mold and transform, right? But he's used to a certain type of relationship. And I feel like because Shanique was being so childish, she was being so petty throughout the process. She was mad at Randall. She wouldn't communicate with Randall. Oh, whoop-de-whoop. We saw the first night Shanique came to the bedroom. The first night her and Zay was at the spot and they spent the night. Shanique came to the bedroom with lingerie on. It wasn't super revealing. It wasn't all that, but she had the little lingerie cheeks out, all that. It's like, yo, chill. I don't think that's how you should present yourself the first night when you got your man in the other room over there. It's a little shaky. But yeah, Randall and Shanique, I feel like she's a nice girl. Ultimately, like I said, they broke up. Now they're back together, working towards getting married. April and Jake. Jake seemed like a really nice guy. April seemed absolutely insane. Insane. It's like every time she opened her mouth, it was a full monologue. It was waterworks all the time. And Jake came into the process saying, you know what? You just don't listen to me. You don't care about my needs. You don't listen to what I'm saying. It's never about what I want. It's always about what you want. You're consistently pestering me about when you're going to marry me. You better do this. You better do that. You woo. And throughout the process, we saw April kind of unravel. I'm sure she's a very nice girl. She seems like she's a bunch of fun. But she seems a bit insane. And Jake came to the process. It seemed like once he met Ray on the first day, he was done. It seemed like he was just looking for an out. He knew he didn't want to be with April. He met Ray and was like, oh, we got all this in common. Woo. That's it. I'm done. April's gone. Ding dong, the witch is dead. I'm out of here. And I feel like he had a good thing going on. They definitely were vibing. We got to know very fast that Ray wasn't really into Zay like that. We saw when he met her father, we saw that her father didn't like or respect Zay. So we kind of felt like, okay, they got a little match made in heaven. It's going to work out. I feel like it could have worked out. However, when Ray came to Jake and told him, yo, I just broke up with Zay. We're not dealing with each other no more. It's over with. In that moment, he was supposed to embrace her. He was supposed to be like, all right, let's do it. We're going to run off in the sunset together, or whatever the case is. He was supposed to embrace her and support her in that, and then show her, hey, okay, I see what you're doing. I'm down here. I'm with you. We're going to make this happen. Instead of doing that, he told her, yeah, I think I got to give April another shot. I gotta try it out. I gotta see what's up with that. I gotta see what's good. And he only did that because of the meeting with his mom, right? When Jake took Ray to meet his mom wasn't feeling her. His mom was like, nah, it's not going on. His mom was like, nah, it's not happening. She's not April. You and April have had so many memories. That's going to be my daughter-in-law. She wasn't feeling it. So moms let Jake know, listen, this ain't it. Jake comes back. He's kind of in a gray area. He tells Ray, yeah, this ain't it. From there, she checks out. So I wasn't surprised to see her come back to the reunion. Though he had the trip and all that, I wasn't surprised to see her come back to the reunion like, yeah, I'm actually into women now. I don't even like Jake or Zay. I'm in the women. Because in that moment when she was vulnerable and she came back to him, he kind of told her like, nah, I don't really know. And you can't not be sure about a woman. You know, when she feel like you're not sure about her, it's gonna leave room for her to just a little wiggle room. You know what I'm saying? You don't want no wiggle room like that. So he blew that. I'm sure he's still happy though, because he didn't want April. And I'm sure it works out for the best. He said he wanted to travel, just got the military. I'm sure he'll have another woman very soon. So he'll be all right. Boom. Ray and Zay, we kind of talked about that. I feel like that was doomed from the gate. They didn't want to be together. Ray gave Zay the ultimatum and then came on the show and couldn't even tell the people why she liked him. Couldn't even tell the people why she wanted to be with him. And when we see their interaction, it seems as though, it seems like it's adolescent. Like, we was together in college. It was cool. It was kicking it. But they didn't really seem like they had nothing in common. They didn't like the same things. They couldn't really even have a conversation. Like she's saying something, he's saying something else, and they cutting each other off, and it's just toxicity, drama filled, just nuts. They probably had really good sex though. That's probably what kept them together for so long. They probably had really good sex, and that can't hold a relationship together. So didn't work out. Ray and Zay, neither one of them had a connection with nobody else on the show. They just kind of free in the wind. So shout out to them. Hope they doing all right. Kobe and Madeline. Oh man, Kobe was a sniper. Okay, a lot of the women kind of was looking at Kobe like, okay, maybe I could get with Kobe. He seemed like a cool guy. Seemed like he could be a little douchey at times, but he seemed like he could be a cool guy. Madeline, on the other hand, seems very, very, very spicy. Madeline was very, very spicy, a tinge of messy, if you will. It's a little messy, strong white woman vibes. When she's got drunk, she definitely lets you know how she feel, and she didn't care about nobody else's feelings. And she was talking to Shanique crazy about Randall, and I'm finna go home and jump on. Madeline was definitely the she had to be one of the main characters of the show. She definitely drove a lot of the drama in the show. I would say her connection with Randall was very interesting. Like I said, she was down from the gate to get with Randall. And when she took him to meet all her friends was almost just like gawking over him, like just, oh my God. And they were completely just throwing dirt on Kobe. And I couldn't understand that. They had just met this new guy and they were just like, Kobe ain't nothing. And his sex is bad and whoop and you need to get with Randall. And I was like, man, that was crazy. It's a little fishy. But all in all, Kobe and Madeline actually worked out. They ended up getting back together, came back to the reunion, and Madeline was pregnant. Okay, so they had, out of all the couples, I feel like Kobe and Madeline had the strongest connection. They went through the most drama. Kobe went out and had sex with somebody randomly at the bar because he felt like he was going through the process and he didn't really have any other connections. Madeline was trying to straddle Randall for the whole show, and he wouldn't give her none. You know, kudos. They went through a lot of drama. But at the end, both of them came back, and she was pregnant, and they seemed to be very, very happy. So, peace to them. Ultimatum on Netflix. I'm sure they'll be having a part 2. It was very captivating. A lot of people was talking about it. Could you see yourself doing something like this? Could you see yourself going on a show like this with your partner and being able to see your partner dating somebody within in your peripheral? Could you do that? I don't think I could. I don't think I could sign up for nothing like that, but very, very interesting show nonetheless. So we gonna get out of here on a high note. Peace to the Mecca. Peace to my second home. First home, Compton. I told you, little Bethlehem. Little holy ground. That's my first home. Second home definitely is at the Mecca in Washington, D.C., the illustrious Howard University. That's home number 2. Definitely home number 2. Definitely changed my life. Definitely met, real bonds, man, friendships that I'll have for the rest of my life, experiences, things that really shaped me, really changed my life completely. So I've always preached this to parents, especially young black. You got a young black son. I can't speak to the experience of young black women, but as a black man, going to Howard University was so, it changed my life. And it's not to say I was on the wrong course or anything like that, but Howard University put me on campus amongst people that was like-minded, and it challenged me, and it brought that. I'm doing this right now because of Howard University. Okay, so if you got a black son and he's thinking about where should I go to college, without a doubt, send him to a HBCU. Okay. And if you have the option to get him to the number 1 HBCU, definitely send him to Howard. Send him to Howard. Like, come on, man. We saw the show. What's the name of the show? Different World. They wasn't lying. Okay, we thought the show was just a good show and it looked cool and whatever the case. No, they was not lying. College is definitely like that. It's a family vibe. It ain't all sweet. Right? It ain't all hills. It's going to be some valleys also. But it's definitely something that'll speak to your overall experience as a black man. If you going to Howard University as opposed to going to a PWI or going to a Cal State. And no disrespect to Cal State. So I went to Cal State Dominguez before I transferred to Howard. And that was a great experience also. But it's not the HBCU experience at all. Okay? Don't play yourself. I know people that's went to USC, UCLA, and their college experience pales in comparison to going to a HBCU. So trust me. And why am I saying all this? Why am I going through all this? Because Morris Brown College was just granted full accreditation. And that's huge. Morris Brown lost their accreditation in 2002. Morris Brown is accredited now, so you can go to Morris Brown. You feel me? I'm sure they're accepting whoever. And I'm sure they got some standards, you know what I'm saying? But if you want to get the HBCU experience, there's so many HBCUs that you could try out. Trust me. Like I said, my home number 2 is Howard. That's the Mecca, and it really changed my life. So if you think about it, go to college, man. Go to a HBCU. Get your mind right. Be sure to follow me at EMCGEE. Subscribe to Emmitt on YouTube. Subscribe to Decibels on YouTube, okay? Catch me every day from 3 to 7 on the Tammy Mack Show on Radio Free 102.3 KJLH. If you're in Los Angeles, 102.3 KJLH. If you're not in Los Angeles, to download the Radio Free app. Go subscribe to Decibels on YouTube. Okay, and Decibels is just everything cannabis. It's a show about cannabis news, reviews, dispensaries, what's new in cannabis, entrepreneurship in cannabis, taking you through growth forms, giving you just the latest and brightest things related to cannabis. Black and brown people in ownership in cannabis, okay? New legalization in cannabis. It's so much going on in cannabis. If you need to figure out who's going to give you the information, where to go get it, look no further. Go to Decibels on YouTube, subscribe, follow me at EMCGEEE, and we got new content coming all the time. It's a beautiful day in LA, we're good. A beautiful day in my neighborhood. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Hello, my name is Emmitt.